Howdy amigos, Bobster here, and welcome to Tejas Moto Video. Summertime is coming and it's going to get hot. What are some riding strategies that we could use so we could still ride? When are some of the better times for us to ride? And what are some riding apparel that we could choose to use? Do you know the warning signals for heat exhaustion and heat stroke? Stay tuned, we're talking about these things. Well, amigos, in the summertime, when do we want to ride? When do we not want to ride? During the heat of the day. When is that? That happens to be probably from about noon to about 6. And so the best time to ride, early in the morning like this, or after 6, or the evenings. Everybody likes a nice early morning ride. Everybody likes a nice early morning ride, especially when it's breezy. Okay, back to the studio. Okay, nice. Don't let hot weather stop you from riding this summer. The first thing you want to remember is to drink plenty of water and stay hydrated. Heat is our enemy, water is our friend. What was something that we saw in the old Western movies that the cowboys always had wrapped around their necks? They had a bandana. Why did they wear a bandana? Well, they could take the bandana off, dip it into some water, put it back around their necks, and it was cool and refreshing. This will actually help you from getting overheated. Another item that's available online from Amazon is called cooling neck wraps. It works basically the same way. You can stick it in the refrigerator, cool it off, put it around your neck, and go riding. After it cools off for a while, you can do the same thing. Put it in some water, soak it, and put it back around your neck. An item I like to use is called a hydration vest. This was something that I bought a few years ago, and when it gets pretty hot, I like to use this. What you do is you get a plastic bag and you put it in the plastic bag like this. You put it in the sink. You fill it up with water. You let it soak for a couple of minutes. Get it good and wet. And then what you want to do is you want to take it and wring out the water. And then gently take it out to your bike. I'll give you a tip. Don't drop any of the drips on your floor or your wife will get mad at you. Ask me how I know. Yes. So with the hydration vest, you put it on as so, like this. The way the vest works is through the evaporation process. This is wet, the wind is hitting it, and it's cooling you off. It'll actually feel like you're riding in air conditioning. And this will last about 30-45 minutes. It works better in arid climates. When you stop, You just simply take the vest off, put it in the bag. If you're at a gas station, go to the restroom, put it in the sink, fill it up, soak it with water for a couple of minutes, drain it out, and then go back out to your bike and put it on. You're good to go. It's always good to carry extra water with you. In fact, if you get hot, you can just stop, open the bottle, pour it over your head, let it drip down over you in your shirt. Oh, you'll thank me for it later. From time to time, I like to update my riding gear. One weekend we went down to the local Harley dealership and I was looking to see what they had. And I saw this summer riding jacket and it had mesh. And I thought, this can't protect you. There's a hog chapter at this dealership and there's a group of guys that get together to ride to lunch on Fridays. There's a group of them. They usually ride about 50 to 75 to 95 miles outside of Houston. And this one day they rode southwest of Houston. They all ride together, enjoy having lunch together, and sometimes people need to leave early, sometimes people want to stay and talk, and so they don't ride back together. And there was this one guy who was riding back by himself. And believe it or not, he was riding down this road. He'd ridden down this road hundreds of times before. And he's riding along and all of a sudden, boom, he gets T-boned by a deer. Man, he goes sliding hundreds of feet on the tarmac. The deer was killed, his bike was totaled, and he was wearing the same riding jacket. He was very fortunate. He came out pretty good, except for a really bad road rash on his legs because he was wearing blue jeans. But he went to the hospital, got checked out, they released him. What's interesting though, word got around about his accident, and the dealership sold a lot of these riding jackets. It has armor in the shoulders, armors in the elbow, and in conjunction with the hydration vest, the mesh will allow air to flow through. In the summertime, I don't ride without this jacket. One of my riding buddies, Dennis, has this ingenious device. It's called a comp cooler. Basically what it is, it's a vest that has tubing running through it. It's connected to a recirculating pump in a small ice chest. Dennis has taken his and put a larger ice chest on it. And he can put a bag of ice in there and ride all day. In fact, he told me he was out riding Saturday and it was about 100 degrees, but he was totally comfortable. This is from the warming store. It cost about $499, but it's on sale throughout the summer for $399. I'll let him tell you more about it.
Called a comp cooler.
Okay.
I think I got it from the cooling store. It's lined with these tubes.
Uh-huh.
And then
wow.
And you plug that into that.
Uh-huh.
I modified it. I mounted the pump here with a switch.
Uh-huh.
And I bought a bigger cooler. And I just hog tied it on here, but eventually I'm gonna mount it back here.
Yeah.
But I just stuck it on here for today. But you just fill it full of ice.
You put water in it?
No?
No water?
Well, just a little bit, just enough to circulate through the pump.
Yeah.
But
And that keeps you cool and fresh all day?
oh yeah, for at least a couple of hours.
Yeah.
2 or 3 hours, and then
You just refill it?
drain the water out, put a bag of ice in there, and keep on going.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to check into that.
It works really well.
All right. Well, thanks, Dennis.
Works real.
I'll leave a link below. I may try to get one if I can get authorization from my chief financial officer. A few years ago in the Iron Butt magazine, I saw a similar article. This was actually an air conditioning device that somebody had developed, and where they would put on this suit, and on the back of their bike they have this air conditioning machine that would pump air conditioning into the suit. I'll try to find the article and post it. Unfortunately, the Iron Butt magazine isn't published anymore. Remember, heat is our enemy. Water is our friend while riding in hot weather. I know some of us think that we're indestructible, but the older we get, we got to be careful about this heat. Do you know the warning signals for heat exhaustion and heat stroke? The symptoms for heat exhaustion are dizziness, thirst, heavy sweating, nausea, and weakness. The symptoms for heat stroke is confusion, dizziness, and becoming unconscious. If you or someone else starts to experience these effects, it's imperative that you stop immediately and get into a cold space. You may need to stop for the day, get a cold hotel room, cool off, and rest. The consequences could be deadly. For heat stroke, call 911 immediately. This information I received was from the National Weather Service, and I'll put a link for it down below. So now we have heated gear for when it's cold and cooling gear for when it's hot. By the way, if you're leading a group of riders, it's best to stop and take a break from time to time. Some of our riders may be thirsty. These are a few tips that I found interesting, and I hope you enjoyed them. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and tell your friends about this. And also click the bell button and you'll be notified when new videos come out. Don't let the heat stop you from riding. We'll see you in the next video, and ride safe.